Why don't we begin? Just a word before we begin. Immediately afterwards, there's a reception back, as if you didn't need more time for food and things like that. There's a reception back at Jordan Hall for all the graduates. Also, a picture moment. On the north side, the door out to the patio that looks out over the campus will be open afterwards, and so you can kind of go out there and take pictures out over the campus, which is kind of cool. This is a wonderful place, actually, to have this ceremony. So let us begin with prayer. Good and gracious God, we gather during this Easter season and the end of another academic year to give you thanks for the gift of your Spirit that came to your church at Pentecost and comes to us each and every day. As we begin this diploma ceremony for the Science Preprofessional class of 2026, we thank you for the blessings of the past 4 years, for the opportunities that you have given to us as faculty and staff and administrators to work together in the search for knowledge and truth, and to cultivate the minds and hearts of these young men and women entrusted to our care. Today, in a special way, we give you thanks for the gift of our graduating seniors and their families and friends. We thank you for your call to them to open their minds and hearts to the wonders of your creation. You have nurtured in them the virtues of courage and faith and perseverance through whatever storms may come. You have strengthened in them a hope for the future. We thank you for this University of Our Lady, this place of reflection and wisdom, of openness and diversity, of wonder and curiosity, and of compassion and zeal. As you have called us all to this place and nurtured in us these virtues, we pray that you continue to inspire us to be bold, to be passionate, and to be magnanimous in sharing these virtues beyond this place. We know that this will be our legacy. Bless our graduates and watch over them as they journey forth from Notre Dame in the coming years as they pursue a deeper understanding of your creation. Keep them true to this calling, so that through the sciences they may serve humanity as they come to know you and love you more deeply. And as you have journeyed with us during these years, we ask that you continue to guide our footsteps in the years ahead. Watch over and protect us and all who travel to and from our campus this weekend. In a special way, keep our graduates and family members in your loving embrace always. Give us the strength to build your kingdom of justice until that day when we are all gathered together again in the peace of your kingdom. We pray this through Christ our Lord. Well, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Father Jim Foster. I am the chair of the Preprofessional Studies Department, and I am the director of the Center for Health Sciences Advising, which is situated over in Jordan Hall. On behalf of the Dean of the College of Science and the faculty of the College of Science, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this diploma ceremony for the Department of Preprofessional Studies and to this celebration of the achievements of the class of 2026, the graduates of this department. A special welcome to all of you, family members and friends who have helped to bring them to this day. You share in their accomplishments today. We are graced by your presence and delighted to celebrate this day with you. As we begin, I'd like to make a few introductions. First, Dean Kathleen Kohlberg. I'm not going in order here. I'm just going to jump over Henry for later. Dean Kathleen Kohlberg is the Associate Dean of the College of Science in the College of Science, and she's the Assistant Director of the Center for Health Sciences Advising. She teaches several courses, including an embryology course that many of our students have taken, as well as a psychology and medicine course taught with Dr. Bob White, a neonatologist here in town. She and I have took over after Father Walter retired and have been writing committee letters since then for the past 21, going on 22 years this summer for professional school applications. In fact, we start up that process during the coming week. So as one year kind of comes to an end, another kind of emerges and begins. And so we are drawn into the future once again. Next, Dr. Dominic Vachon, who many of you met yesterday at the recognition ceremony for those completing the minor in compassionate care in medicine. He is the director of the Hillebrand Center for Compassionate Care in Medicine, a center with a particular mission of educating our students in the science of compassion, reminding them that the source of whatever we do comes from a heart that is rooted in compassionate caring. He has a large teaching load, offering courses on clinical professionalism and communication, courses that enhance their understanding of the human side of clinical care. He also started the minor in compassionate care in medicine several years ago that honored over 60 graduates on Friday. So if you get a chance, maybe during some of the downtime of this busy weekend, there's not much left in it, is there? You can go online to their website and read some of the capstone project abstracts to get a better sense of what they kind of focus their studies on as they are learning about the science of compassion. Next is Professor Christiane Lax-Walker. She's a member of our teaching faculty for the compassionate care minor. Although she served here at Notre Dame for many years in several capacities, including as a first-year advisor and in our office as a first-year specialist, in the past assisting first-generation and underrepresented students as they move into STEM disciplines at Notre Dame. She co-teaches with Dr. Vachon a medical counseling skills course, and she's developed this new course dealing with cultural humility that was offered this last year. So welcome, Christy. And then Professor Henry Vu, who is the newest member of our teaching faculty, stepped up right away to teach a medical microbiology course through the biology department after he started, and then developed a new medical terminology course this past semester. He's also been very involved in outreach to professional schools. He will be calling you up to receive your diplomas in a bit. Also not here today, but a new member of our faculty in the Department of Preprofessional Studies is Barbara Calhoun, who many of you know, a clinician, a nurse practitioner, serves as the Reisenauer Family Director for Patient Advocacy and Outreach in Education. She runs the minor in Science and Patient Advocacy through the Center for Rare Diseases and teaches several of their courses. It is a minor that, again, many of our students have pursued, so many of you maybe have met her along the way. And then, last but not least, sitting at the table are Corianne Kellums, our department and program manager, and Rose Marvin, our office coordinator, who try to remain behind the scenes, but we've got them front and center today at the table. And they actually are responsible for much of what our office is able to accomplish. And so grateful for all of you being with us here today. On behalf of all of us in the College of Science, I'd like to congratulate once again the class of 2026 for all that you have achieved here. You've come a long way. This is no small achievement, and so we honor and celebrate what you have achieved here at Notre Dame, and for all the ways that you've grown in the years, these past years. We know that you did not do this alone. If there's one thing we learn over the many years leading up to this day, it's that we're all in this together. We're all on this journey together. So it is also time to thank those who have journeyed with you and supported you in your formation process to this day. Time flies way too quickly. That is a common phrase. We hear it all the time, so much so that it becomes rather cliche. You graduates have a particular view of that line at the end of 4 years at Notre Dame. Memories from your first days at Notre Dame may still be very fresh in your mind. I was reminded of how quickly time flies 3 weeks ago when two of my classmates from the class of 1977, both now retiring or retired physicians from Houston, they were here on campus to celebrate their 48th wedding anniversary and to have a short blessing ceremony in the Basilica, which I presided at, where they were married in 1978, the year after we graduated. And so because of their work as primary care physicians, they haven't been able to make it back to campus very frequently over the years. In fact, they're worried that they're not going to be able to get back for our 50th anniversary, 50th reunion next year. 50 years, that's actually a frightening thought. But they were interested in how things have changed over the years on the pre-health front, what kinds of things are focused on now that maybe were not focused on so closely back then. The application process, as you may imagine, is so much different than it was when they and I applied in 1976. I tend always to approach graduations with a sense of history, especially as I get older. Although Notre Dame is not a large institution, in every graduating class of 2,000 students, upwards of 15 to maybe 20% will be heading on to medical schools, dental schools, other allied health professions, if not this coming year and a year or two down the road. So that is a very large percentage of a class that is at an institution that is just sort of moderate size. It is not a large institution. That does not happen overnight. That culture of so many students kind of going on to the health professions and so many going on to medicine and dentistry especially, that develops over time. And I'd like to kind of reflect back on a little bit of that as we reflect on what you have accomplished here these past 4 years. And it does go back years into the late 1800s, the mid to late 1800s. First, medical certificates were awarded as early as 1866, right after the end of the Civil War. And that continued until 1888. After that, for a short period of time, there was a Department of Medicine here at Notre Dame. And it was for a short period of time. It did not last. In 1917, a new medical curriculum was approved, although it was not truly a medical curriculum. It really was preclinical, pre-medical. And near that time, or before that time actually, just before that time, in 1915, Newt Rockne, whose name you may have heard, graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy, a field that started here in 1897 and continued after he was awarded that degree. Before he became our celebrated football coach, he worked in the chemistry department with Father Julius Newland, another Holy Cross priest, who was known for his acetylene research, which was used as the basis for a type of synthetic rubber that eventually led to the invention of neoprene by DuPont. Newland was the first dean of the College of Science and a strong supporter of the curriculum that trained students to move forward into the medical profession. So he really did support very strongly in the College of Science the formation of undergraduates moving to the healing professions. And in our conference room back at Jordan for many years, we were surrounded with reminders of Dr. Newland. We had his 2 PhDs and several other reminders of the contributions that he made to Notre Dame and ultimately to our students who are interested and have been interested in medicine over the years. And then in 1943, one of the fourth dean of the College of Science, Dr. Lawrence Baldinger, was made dean, and he lasted in that deanship until 1960, and he was so drawn to the formation of those leading to medicine that he was the founder of the Science Preprofessional major in 1960. He stepped back from the deanship, took over the leadership of this new department that he started in order to more, in a focused way, prepare our students not only with an interdisciplinary science, a strong interdisciplinary science background, but also enough space to develop a strong interdisciplinary humanities background as well, recognizing that it's one thing to know the sciences, it's another thing to apply the sciences to the care of those who are sick. And so it was as important to know the human person experiencing illness, and you needed to engage the humanities in order to do that. He passed away in 1970, and then our predecessor, Father Walter, was appointed, and he headed the department for 36 years, retiring in 2005 when Dean Kohlberg and I took over. There are thousands of healthcare professionals who came through the application process during his time, and thousands more since. But he had a large impact, I think, on your formation here, even though you may have never even heard of his name, because he helped to lay the foundation for a lot of what we do here as pre-health advisors. He was a founder in what is now a very large community nationwide of pre-health advisors. Nationally, there is a national association of pre-health advisors with 4 regions, hundreds upon hundreds of pre-health advisors across the country that he basically helped to start back in the early 1970s. And we have all been members of that advising community over the years, some of us serving in a variety of leadership capacities. He helped to create this subspecialty of pre-health advising so that we might remain up to date on what the changing expectations are of the various schools and how best to prepare people to get ready for those applications, etc. So we stand, I think, on very broad shoulders of those who have gone before us. But while much has changed, there are some basics that have stayed the same. Yes, the professional schools are looking for more than they were 50 years ago. The review process was much more numbers-based back then, and now they look for more than just numbers. They look at the whole person. If we want healthcare professionals who will embody not just intellectual competencies, but also broader virtues, empathy, compassion, interpersonal skills, communication skills, integrity, a commitment to service, cultural sensitivity, resilience, a capacity for growth, a capacity for learning, an innate love of learning, then schools are going to look for evidence of all that, not only through the academic record, as important as that is, but also through the history of an applicant's engagement, what their past behaviors have been, what their interview skills and writing skills are, what their life choices have been. Have there been any adversities overcome over the years? What kind of distance has been traveled by them? What cumulative life experiences have they had? It's one of the reasons why there has been a push over recent years toward enhancement years or gap years to develop those skills and show that evidence over time. But the constant has been the recognition that medicine is about caring for the whole person. And in order to do that, and in order to do that well, we need whole persons involved in the caring of the sick. For years, it's been part of the culture of Notre Dame. It's almost cliche to speak of your formation here in holistic terms, remembering that the founder of the community, the religious community, Holy Cross, that founded Notre Dame, Father Basil Moreau, spoke of education in very holistic mind and heart terms. So it's nothing new for us at Notre Dame. At the Compassionate Care recognition ceremony on Friday, Dr. Vachon spoke of our educational mission being a formation process, truly a formation process, a time for integrating that whole person, integrating the mind and the heart, so that we can work with others and for others with integrity. But for the medical schools, especially in the 1970s when I graduated, they struggled in evaluating and measuring candidates beyond the numbers. And yet at the same time, there was this fundamental recognition that they needed to look beyond the numbers. They needed to look at more, to recognize the heart of the servant in every applicant. So long before the application process moved from a central focus on mere grades and exam scores, it was often advisors in the pre-health field, like Father Walter and many others, who were arguing that professional schools needed to look at the whole person, the human behind the numbers, the ways the applicant has developed a sense of calling, the ways the student has developed servant leadership skills, collaborative skills, communication skills, cross-cultural skills, the ways the student has grown personally, not just intellectually, knowing that whatever makes you a better person was in some way going to make you a better physician or dentist or PA or pharmacist or teacher or business consultant or lawyer or whatever profession one moves toward. It would make you a better servant. It would just make you better. So it may seem at times that there are many professional schools still that, while demanding much more on the applicant's resume and more time to grow in maturity and competencies, they're still very tied to the numbers and only secondarily are interested in the whole. But we believe that at the core of what we do here is encouraging the development of the whole person and especially the growth of a servant's heart. And so I hope that if you have learned anything here over the years, it is the importance of nurturing a compassionate heart of service on your journey beyond this place. Before Dr. Vu comes forward to call you up for your diplomas, we have asked Professor Christiane Lax-Walker, as I mentioned, a teacher here in the center, as well as Dr. Dominic Vachon, the director of our Hillebrand Center for Compassionate Care, to offer some reflections today as well, because so much of the work they do through the center informs our holistic approach to what we think of in terms of our undergraduate formation process. So, Christy.
Welcome, Preprofessional Studies class of 2026. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to your families and friends for being here today to celebrate you, and for allowing us to be part of your journey over the past 4 years. Thank you. I want to share just a few words of encouragement with you as you transition into this stage of your life. It probably goes without saying that this is an emotional day for you and your families. On one hand, there is the excitement for the next chapter, and on the other, there is the uncertainty that lies ahead. As I've experienced this same juxtaposition of feelings and thoughts during different stages of my own life, I've come to realize just how important it is to always remember who you are at your core and what it means to be a graduate of the University of Notre Dame. So I offer you this. First, be authentic. The values that are central to who you truly are will be the foundation you need when and if the world causes you to doubt yourself. Second, determine the thing that centers you. A scripture that I've come to lean on when I don't have an answer to a big question in my life, or I'm facing a moment that seems overwhelming, is found in Deuteronomy 33:25. It reads, "As your days are, so shall your strength be." When challenges come your way, I want to encourage you to see yourself as equal to that challenge. No matter what it is, you have what you need to meet that moment. It may take time. It may require you to be stretched. It may even take you further out of your comfort zone than you've ever been. But from what we know about you, you are more than prepared to face anything that comes your way. Third, take care of yourself. Oftentimes, we get so busy trying to achieve our goals and striving toward what is next that we run the risk of depleting ourselves. I heard a student say recently that you cannot pour from an empty cup. Most of you will one day move into the health professions, and it will be your daily work to pour into others over and over again. Find ways to replenish yourself. Remain balanced in your work and your life, and never forget to attend to the child that is in you. In other words, have fun. Laugh at yourself, or even be the one who brings laughter to others. There's only one of you, and the world needs you. Finally, choose to live from a place of gratitude for everything that makes your life good, and even thankful for the things that you don't understand. Each moment and experience is cultivating something in you and growing you in ways that you may not realize for many, many years to come. Your hard work here probably felt like a very long season of growth or even pruning at times. And even though you are being uprooted from one place, we want you to know that your roots are strong and you will continue to bloom wherever you are planted. Congratulations, and go Irish.
Hello, everyone. So I direct the Center for Compassionate Care in Medicine, but you should not draw from that statement that that's the only place compassion is taught at Notre Dame. After all, Notre Dame is Compassion Disney World. Wherever you go, there is something that will help you cultivate compassion. For those of you watching from another place, we're in the stadium right now. And we begin every third quarter right off of that monitor right there with what would you fight for? So we are indeed in a Compassion Disney World. And your major is all about compassion. Your whole major is about learning sciences so that you can offer that to help people who are suffering in the world. When you live a life of compassion, you start looking at your life like a story of successive awakenings. So just like what would you fight for every home football game, you are embodying stories right now. And this is literally, with this ceremony, the end of this chapter. And you have lived a story. And so I want to invite you to think about this because you're much more likely to remember what you're thinking now than what we're saying. But ask yourself, what's my life been, what's my chapter here at Notre Dame been a story of? In 1 to 6 words, what's it been a story of? You know, stories of compassion involve trials and challenges and ups and downs and resiliency, but you never know where that chapter is going to end. But the chapter's always setting up for the next one. So think about that. What's your life been a story of the last 4 years? Has it been a story of ascent, climbing the mountain of achievement, one achievement after another with no setback? Or maybe it's been ups and downs, or maybe you're ending this chapter with questions. Maybe you have been maybe your life has been a story of going through the swamp, you know, battling alligators and serpents and beasts like organic chemistry and physics. Maybe that's been your story as you go through. There's a lot of nods of heads on that last one. So think about that. What's your life been a story of this last 4 years? So now as this chapter moves to the next, the themes I want to encourage you to look for or to keep centered on are 2. I want to encourage you as you go from here to keep asking or to notice these 2 things, or to keep these 2 things at the center of what you're doing. First of all, what are you fighting for? And second of all, remember that you are the medicine. So that first one, when you began here, before you knew the Notre Dame tagline of what would you fight for, you were fighting for something. You were dedicating yourself for something. And your very major, I love your major because your whole major is about preparing yourself to get ready to take care of other people. And that's an amazing thing here in Compassion Disney World. I want to encourage you to stay close to that early compassion that led you to do this major and that kept you going through this, and never let it go. What we know from the research is that compassion, there's no research study out there that says that compassion leads to burnout. It's always systemic factors. The compassion is actually our lifeblood. It's what keeps us going. So I want to encourage you as you go on to keep remembering the end of halftime and the beginning of the third quarter. Always stay rooted in what you're fighting for. The second thing is to always remember that you are the medicine. We have this exercise when people in medical school, when we are working with people doing their clinical rotations, and I'll ask the medical students, I'll say, now when you start shadowing that doctor, this is true, by the way, for every profession, but in medical students, I'd say, anytime you're with that doctor and you're watching them, you're accompanying them, I want you to ask yourself, or reflect on, you're going to see lots of different people. I want to ask you to ask yourself, how are they part of the medicine? How are they part of the medicine? Whether you are a CNA, a nurse, a dentist, a veterinarian, a physician, a nurse practitioner, physician assistant, you are part of the medicine. It is not the drug that really heals alone. It is not the technology alone. It is not AI alone. It is you who are part of that medicine, because you're noticing how that person in front of you is suffering. You're moved by that suffering. And that helps you marshal all your competence and all this knowledge as you've gone through these years and the years to come to focus on that person in front of you. You are the medicine. And so I welcome you to this compassionate work. I'm grateful to have you as colleagues. And my prayer for you is that the good work that has been begun in you be brought to completion.
Thank you, Christy and Dom. At this point, I would like to bring Dr. Vu forward, who will call the graduates forward to receive their degrees. And I assume you've all heard how that's going to go. It's basically like a foodless buffet. You just line up as they have told you, and you just come up and you receive the diploma from me, but you stop there also for a picture, and then come forward and shake hands with whatever teacher, faculty is standing in your way, and then stop here to receive a little gift from Dean Kohlberg, and then walk down the stairs to over there for a formal portrait. All right? So Dr. Vu, come on up instead of down.
All right, thank you, Father Foster. And before, for our award winners, please step and sit to the side for the next part. So please, if you were an award winner, you've been told, so please make sure you find a seat on the side. Thank you. All right, let's begin our presentation of diplomas. Laura Elizabeth Arendt. Ethan Ashwin Augustine. Anne Claire Mary Kim Ostroms. Ingrid Azarak. Miera Bakhta. Brendan Judson Booth. Christian Michael Brown Vasquez. Celia Catherine Kilbane Bullock. Ainsley Elizabeth Butler. Steve J. Boutris. Catherine Jean Carr. Federico Jose Celis. Madeline Grace Cerny. Mary Serena Codeville. Isaac McKellen Culp. Cole Harrison Curtis. Grace Ann D. Marie. Jack Joseph Duhan. Claire Isabella Fike. Brennan Patrick Fitzgerald. Magdalena Marie Gazda. Brendan Gonzalez. Juliana Elizabeth Graceffo. Nicola Grimaldi. Pierce Dalia Hand. Margaret Grace Heffernan. Claire Margaret Hoban. Casey Patrick Hoffman. Justin June Huang. Joanna Jimenez. Ella Catherine Johnson. Mia Grace Keener. Jake Ryan Kilbride. Catherine Grace Lauinger. Jillian Marie McKnight. Molly Catherine Maxwell. Nicoletta Marie Minier. Michael Patrick Morrissey. Benedict Yui Nguyen. Kobe Chimdi Wilfrek On UK. Nathan James Popple. Madison Elizabeth Prenny. Jose de Jesus Salazar Saavedra. Emma Grace Sanders. Brady Tonto Saunen. Nathaniel Joseph Sowers. Kate Elizabeth Stika. Elena Marie Thorne. Summer Caroline Webb. Mary Margaret Ann Woods. Jason Lin Zhao. Liam Joseph Zadar. Caroline Ann Zorn. And let's give a hand for all our graduates. We will turn it over now to Dean Kathleen Kohlberg for the presentation of awards. Congratulations again, graduates.
Hey, everybody. It is an honor to recognize this resilient, insightful, and compassionate group of graduates. I watched as some of our seniors worked at the rally event for admitted students, and they were trying to explain the nature of the science pre-professional major. They mentioned the freedom to choose upper-level science electives that suited your interests, and the chance to go deep in sciences with more than 64 credits of science. They also mentioned the flexibility to pursue additional specialties beyond the sciences. Having more space for elective courses allowed students to pursue a suite of courses aimed at their interests, and these people have been very busy. Okay. Over 80% of them chose to concentrate those courses in a particular area with an additional major or minor or both, including psychology, anthropology, I just did this list this morning, theology, sociology, philosophy, history, all the languages, justice and society, gender studies, science, patient advocacy, science, technology, and values, classics, English, health, humanities, and society, Latino studies, international development, a variety of business minors, global health, and even more. So many of them completed the minor for compassionate care and medicine, also offered by the department. About a third completed 3 or more pieces of curriculum. Others chose to pursue an array of self-styled studies. They wanted to pick what they wanted, and that included additional language learning, more arts, or humanities, or social sciences across a variety of departments. These students have also amazed us in what they've done. They have volunteered in Appalachia, on the US border, in Los Angeles, Boston, Chicago, South Carolina, London, Uganda, Panama, Ecuador, Mexico, Honduras, and many, many more places. They've done research across departments and across the globe on topics like cancer, radiation physics, infectious disease, neuroscience, kidney disease, retinal degeneration, robotic surgery, exercise physiology, bioethics, sleep, rare diseases, and more. They have worked in businesses, teaching, athletic industry, medical offices, sports nutrition, and the food industry. Several of them worked for a hot Texas summer at a camp for children with type 1 diabetes. They've also played varsity and club sports, which is basically a part-time job, and they have been leaders across campus in their dorm, in clubs, and in student government. Their broad education and experiences have prepared them to tackle challenges. They're pursuing medicine, physician assistant, dentistry, pharmacy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, optometry, industry jobs, teaching, and consulting. Medical schools have been asking for resilience in medical school secondary applications for the past decade. And they do not need to ask about it with this group unless they want to be inspired, as we all have been. And thank you for that inspiration, graduates. Among them is a group of exceptional students that we want to honor today with specific named achievement awards. And the first award is the Reverend Joseph L. Walter CSC Award. This award is given to graduates who have demonstrated not only academic and professional competence, but a commitment to service within and beyond the Notre Dame community. Father Walter, as Father Foster noted, was the chief pre-medical advisor here until he retired in 2005 after 36 years in that role. He wrote committee letters for thousands of applicants over this years, and maybe some people in the audience today. Our first recipient of the Walter Award is Brady Soennen. Brady, come on up. Brady is a science pre-professional studies major with a minor in compassionate care and medicine, and he and his family are from St. Paul, Minnesota. Brady has amassed a broad and holistic record of academic achievement and deep clinical experience, service, and leadership. Brady has developed two areas of academic research. He began his academic journey at Notre Dame as a physics and medicine major and connected with Dr. Lisiskaya's lab performing radiation chemistry research in that mysterious building near the library that doesn't look like any other building on campus. I haven't even been in that building, and I've been here a long time. His publication with that lab is entitled Temperature Dependence of Reactions Between Aqueous Manganese Ions and Water Radiolysis Products. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it means either. This past year, Brady completed a capstone project entitled Compassionate Medicine and Pediatric Oncology Care for Patients and Families. Brady participated in numerous community service opportunities in the South Bend community and beyond. In South Bend, he volunteered with the South Bend Center for the Homeless, A Place to Be Me, a community organization that enriches the lives of individuals with special needs. Oh, and by the way, if you go to their website, Brady is pictured on there with one of his buddies. A Rosie Place, a respite care hospital for medically fragile children, and Real Services, an organization that serves older adults and low-income families. He has also volunteered with Motels for Now in their emergency housing ministry and their street medicine services. He has done much of this through Mercy Works, the community service arm of campus ministry, and through his dorm. His leadership and service is further evidenced by his role as the service commissioner for his dorm and as an anchor intern for Mercy Works. Through his internship there, he organized events and meetings on campus and across the county with community partners. Beyond the South Bend community, he has traveled to the U.S.-Mexico border, Honduras, and Panama for service learning trips. He has a gift for working with children in vulnerable conditions as a teacher and as a behavioral technician at an autism clinic. His positive persona and caring attitude make him effective in everything he does. Brady will continue his work as a teacher this summer before taking a clinical job and applying to medical school. Thank you. Brady. Okay. second recipient of the Father Joseph L. Walter Award is Nathaniel Sauer. Nathaniel is, yep, come on up, Nathaniel. He is a pre-professional studies major with a minor in theology, and he and his family are from Wheaton, Illinois. Nate has amassed an impressive resume, including research, clinical experience, community service, and leadership. His research activities show you his intellectual dedication to both his science pre-professional major and his theology major. He has participated in rare disease research with non-ketotic hyperglycemia. That I do know about. Okay. He also participated in research as part of his internship with Boston Healthcare for the Homeless and Street Medicine in South Bend. He participated in research for Housing in the Common Good, providing material for the Reentry Guide for St. Joseph County. He has obtained outstanding clinical experience working in surgery transport for a hospital near his home, and as a counselor for Camp Sweeney, that residential camp for children with type 1 diabetes. He also spent last summer with Boston Healthcare for the Homeless, participating in both clinical and research activities, where he learned the complexities of consent. These are undergrads. Isn't that great that somebody understands the complexity of consent as an undergrad? Outside of medicine, he's participated in service learning opportunities in Appalachia and Homeboy Industries in California. He has worked as a behavioral aid for children and mentored local children at St. Adelbert School. Nate has shown outstanding leadership through the dorm and as a mentor and master mentor for Conversations with Purpose. He has also worked as a teaching assistant in the courses of Force for Good and Dark Times. One of the first things I noticed about Nate was his passion for human dignity and his genuine humility. It's probably driving you a little crazy to have this read about you, right? He will spend the next year working full-time at a dermatology clinic to see a different kind of medicine while applying to medical school. Thank you. You get a little taste through these awards, a little bit of a taste of our privilege of writing those letters and getting to tell the story of these remarkable young people. Next are the Baldinger Awards. Dr. Lawrence Baldinger, as Father Foster mentioned, was the Dean of College of Science from 1943 to 1960, and then head of the newly founded Preprofessional Studies Department from 1960 until his death in 1970. This award is given to graduates who have demonstrated achievement in academics and research, broad leadership, and a commitment to service and professionalism. This year, there are 3 recipients. The first one is Ella Johnson. Ella is a science pre-professional studies major with a second major in honors Spanish and a minor in science and patient advocacy. She and her family are from Madison, Wisconsin. In addition to her academic success, Ella has excelled in research, service, and leadership. Ella's resume is so packed it would be difficult to completely capture her 4 years in the time we have here. She has participated in research on campus in neuroscience, oncology, rare disease, business models for behavioral care, and an honors thesis for the Spanish department on forced sterilization in Puerto Rico. She also participated in rare disease research since last summer with Lurie Children's Hospital, and in the clinical realm, she has been a faithful volunteer at the Newborn Intensive Care Unit at Beacon Children's. She spent a summer shadowing in surgery and participated in a literature review with that group. Last year, she participated in Notre Dame Medical Observers, where she was paired with a family practice resident each week for a semester. She was so committed to the value of that experience, she became the president and organizer of that program. It is a pattern for Ella that when she commits deeply. She spent a summer working with adults with disability through a large program in California and has been an active member of Best Buddies, a club that connects college students with community members with intellectual or developmental disabilities. She's been a member of club soccer for 4 years and served as the president. You're seeing a theme here where she kind of takes on a leadership role. She served as her hall president last year. She has been a group fitness instructor all 4 years and a TA for biology and organic chemistry, remarking that her time TAing for organic chemistry is her most fun activity of the week. Okay. It is not my most fun part of the week. She is going on to Epic, the electronic health records company, before moving on to medical school. Thank you for everything. Our next recipient is Elena Thorne from Washington, Indiana. Elena is a science pre-professional major who pursued 2 minors, one in compassionate care and the other one in science and patient advocacy. We recognize Elena Thorne for her outstanding academic achievements, unwavering compassion, and deep commitment to serving others. Throughout her academic journey, Elena has consistently demonstrated what it means to lead with both intellect and heart. She stands out not only for her dedication to the classroom, but for her genuine care and compassion that she brings to everyone she encounters. Growing up in rural Indiana, Elena developed a strong appreciation for the importance of community-centered medicine. It is no surprise that Elena chose to participate in research that helps improve the lives of the most vulnerable people while at Notre Dame. While working with the Böhler-Parseghian Center for Rare Disease, she used a mouse model to study the mechanisms of NKH, a rare and often fatal disease caused by defects in the glycine cleavage system. In the Perez lab, she participated in research on CMP, a high-risk virus for immunocompromised individuals. These opportunities paved the way for summer research at the Perelman School of Medicine, where she studied disparities in nephrology among kidney transplant recipients. This allowed Elena to focus on the health of marginalized populations, which she plans to address in the future as a physician. Elena's dedication to compassionate care in medicine is especially evident through her role as a nursing assistant and OB-Tech at Davies Community Hospital. While there, she exemplified the competencies necessary to live out the call of medicine by being present with patients in times of celebration and in times of grief. While caring for hospice patients at Brookside Village Assisted Living, Elena built relationships and provided comfort to patients and families facing terminal diagnoses. Elena has approached each experience with remarkable maturity, kindness, and humility. Today, we celebrate not only what she has already achieved, but the impact she is sure to have in years to come. The Patrick Nyland Award is named for a 1982 graduate of Notre Dame who passed away after his 3rd year of medical school at the University of Michigan and was awarded his MD degree posthumously. His family established this award to be given to graduates who embody strong holistic character, record of service, academic achievement, professionalism, and integrity that Patrick Nyland brought to all his endeavors. Our award winner is Michael Morrissey of Henrico, Virginia. In addition to his primary major in science pre-professional studies, Michael has completed minors in theology and compassionate care in medicine. In addition to his academic success, Michael has shown dedication to his community. Beyond numerous shadowing opportunities back home and in South Bend, his most impactful clinical work involved 2 summers at Camp Sweeney, where he was a counselor responsible for caring for children with type 1 diabetes. How many people here did Camp Sweeney? Okay, they all deserve some applause too. That background at Camp Sweeney informed his capstone project for the Compassionate Care Minor, which focused on the integration of science of compassion with the care of adolescents with type 1 diabetes and disordered eating. Michael was also a productive and reliable research assistant in Ecology and Public Health Lab of Professor Rohr the past 3 semesters, involved in projects looking at how organisms respond and adapt to varying temperatures. In addition, Michael pursued multiple leadership roles, including through his dorm Keenan Hall, where he served as a resident assistant this year, and through Notre Dame Marching Band, where he served as a member of the drumline and the court band. Michael will be attending Creighton University School of Medicine during the coming year. Congratulations. The last named award is the Dr. Samuel Schmel MD Award, named for a Notre Dame alum, an orthopedic surgeon in Chicago, who was also a member of the College of Science Advisory Council. This award is given to the person who has achieved the highest academic record in the department while demonstrating a commitment to holistic formation, personal integrity, and professionalism. The recipient this year is Jack Doohan of Waxhaw, North Carolina. In addition to his primary major in science pre-professional studies, he also completed a minor in compassionate care and medicine. He and his family come from Waxhaw, North Carolina, and in addition to his academic success, he has developed a strong holistic background over the 4 years, including clinical volunteering at the VA clinic in Charlotte and service at the Alzheimer's Memory Center in Matthews, North Carolina, a hospice volunteer in Charlotte, and multiple shadowing opportunities near his home. His research in the Maria Lieberman Lab over 3 years focused on the design of color tests with paper analytical devices for use in low and middle income countries to detect substandard medications, culminating in a publication in The Lancet Global Health, looking at substandard anti-cancer pharmaceuticals in sub-Saharan Africa. In addition, Jack also pursued multiple leadership roles through his dorm, Keogh Hall, through tutoring with Slice of Life, working with elementary-aged children in under-resourced schools in the community, and through tutoring opportunities in chemistry through the Learning Resource Center. He will be attending Hofstra School of Medicine during the coming year. Congratulations to all our awardees. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Father Foster for close.
A few final words. Of course, when a priest says that, that usually means a second homily, but and you've heard a lot of wonderful messages today, but just maybe a final image. A few years ago, another physician alum stopped by the office to see how things had changed since he had graduated 40 years before. And he told of a conversation that he had had with one of his colleagues about his experience of Notre Dame graduates in healthcare. He had had several conversations with several people, but his friend had said that when asked how he experienced those Notre Dame graduates, he said there was something special about them, and I'd like to think so. But when asked, he said that very simply, you can depend on them. So hopefully sometime down the road, your colleagues in whatever field you move toward will be able to say that about you, that they have come to depend on you, not just because of your competencies in your work, but because you bring a particular vision to that work. Another physician alum who was the founder of the Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program several years ago, when asked what lessons he had learned over the years of service and what advice he could offer to people moving into the health professions, he reflected a little bit on a mentor of his who told him from day one when working with the homeless population, ditch the stethoscope, he said, and wash the feet of his patients first in order to establish trust and know them as persons before focusing on the clinical agenda. That may be a little over top in general in clinical care, washing the feet of your patients. But what he was basically getting at, what that mentor was getting at, that was that people have to find a way, clinicians have to find a way to kind of break through, to break in and connect with their patients. That simple connection allowed for trust to grow, and that trust became the potential ground for healing to move forward. And so what he said was, take your time, listen to the patient's stories, respect their dignity, be consistent, offer care and hope, and never judge. Address people by name. Remember that the core of the healing heart is the personal relationship. What is true of the unhoused, of homeless populations, is true of all patients. Clinicians must create, and this is a theological term, the conditions for the possibility the conditions for the possibility of healing to occur, and that involves giving of your very selves. So no matter what field you enter, share your very selves and recognize what it is you are doing. Mother Teresa of Calcutta would use her own words, "Don't ever forget whom you are touching." Our life has no other meaning and no other motivation other than caring for him, feeding him, clothing him, visiting him in the distressing disguise of the poor. So hopefully you will look at what you do in a different way, as a vocation, as doing something beautiful for God, as she did in her life. A word of thanks before we go our separate ways for Corianne and Rose, who have supported these students over the years and who organized this event, for Dean Kohlberg, for Professor Christy Lax-Walker, for Dr. Vachon, for Dr. Vu, who helped to make it all happen. I just show up, they tell me where to stand and what to say, and we go from there. A final word from Father Hesburgh. When he retired in 1987, at his last commencement as president, he closed his charge to the class with these words: "Let us agree that we shall never forget one another. And whatever happens, let us remember how good it felt when we were all here together, united by a good and decent feeling, which made us better people, better probably than we would otherwise have ever been." I believe that is true of us here. I hope that that is true. Mother Teresa would also say, "Okay, enough talk, let's get to work." So remember that there's a reception back at Jordan Hall after this, and you can take pictures out on the north side here if you have time for that. Congratulations again for what you have achieved and what you will become. We are so proud of all of you. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day. But before you go, I'm going to invite you all up on the stage to sing the alma mater. It's a nice picture moment. So if you have cameras, better voices to the front, worse voices to the back. But don't worry, I will start it. I'll be happy if you just hide me. So. Either way. We're going to do it in the key of G. Notre Dame, our mother, tender, strong, and true, proudly in the heavens gleams thy gold and blue. Glory's mantle cloaks thee, golden is thy fame, and our hearts thee no